Hey guys, welcome back to GameSpot. We're taking a look at Disney Infinity. I'm joined by John, and we're taking a look at some of the creation tools that are available. We've got a nice big blank space here. What are we going to create?
Well, I think that you wanted to create something of a mini game we can play where we can determine which of us is truly the most superior gamer, right?
Absolutely. The toy box mode sounds like it has a few tools that will work as almost building blocks for programming for young children who might want to learn the basics of coupling up different items and how they'll be able to interact with each other. So I thought it might be a good opportunity to build something from scratch and show the process of linking those objects.
Yeah, absolutely. So here we can start by giving us maybe a bit of an elevated play field. So this is a block that's going to let me climb up a little bit higher, and from here we can pick a few different blocks. So one of my very favorites for creating any kind of treacherous play field is the conveyor block. So I can take this and place it like this, and we can very quickly have a play field that's going to be a bit of a challenge for both of us to stay on, right? So we'll see who's the best at keeping their footing.
So as we go through and build these, and just keep on going, I'll fire questions at you.
Sure.
In terms of the items themselves, where do they come from? Are they purchased items? Are they within the game already?
So there's a little bit of everything. Some of the items come from playing through different play sets. As you play through the Incredibles play set, you may unlock Mr. Incredible's car, you may unlock some of the buildings that you find in Metroville, and you can then place those here in the toy box. Some of the toys are inherent in the toy box. If you purchase the starter pack and the first thing you do is go in the toy box, you're going to have a full suite of toys available to build and create as well. So there's a little bit of everything. Some come from the play sets, some come with individual toys, and some are here just to get you started. Okay, so at its very most basic, in just a matter of moments, I've created this playfield. Now we can both come up over here, and if you hit the X button when you're near this pipe, it should allow you to climb up to the top. Now, we can, as part of a gentleman's agreement, just decide that whoever ends up getting knocked off of this thing first loses, right? And we can then use all of our powers and different abilities and different toys in an attempt to stay up here. But if you want this to be a little bit more official, for example, we can then take a toy like the, for example, let's use the race gate. And we can say, actually, the goal of this game now is to be the first person to successfully cross this race gate, and we're going to do everything we can to impede each other from doing so. And to make it entirely on the up and up, so that we know that no one is claiming they went through the gate when they really haven't. Not that I would ever do anything like that. We can actually place some of these party cannons here at the end. Looks like I may have lost my race gate. Let me place that back. There we go. And now using the magic wand, I can actually, from down here, I can select that race gate, and we can choose its behavior of crossed by player, any player. And now I can pick these party cannons, and I can say, okay, if somebody gets through there, let's have the fireworks go off. And these Infinitoys, they are not limited to just be connected to one object. I can say, no, I want another link, and I want to link it to the other party cannon. Let's see here. And now I want confetti to come out of that one. And now, if I climb back up there, we can say, ready, set, go. And maybe I'll pick an item a little bit more combat useful than the magic wand. Let's say we use the flaming pumpkin. And now, ready, set, go. Okay, who can get there first? And and you barely made it through. As you can see on my screen, the fireworks went off, and you legitimately beat me at a game that, granted, it was fairly simple and fairly small, but we put that together in just a matter of minutes. So you can imagine with the tools available what you could do if you had a little bit more time and a little bit more design work ahead of time.
Great. You mentioned a calculator earlier, some of the stuff that the design team have already created, some great verticality with racing levels. What are the limits of the items that can be put into the game?
Well, we've done everything we can to optimize them well enough that you aren't limited to using just a few of these at a time. I mean, I don't have any fixed numbers, but you can use hundreds of these toys at once together to build very large, very complex setups.
Let's try to build something else.
Okay.
You mentioned the three-way soccer, and that's something we saw a little bit of at GDC. Can we put a twist on that one?
Sure we can. So let's start with, if you're going to play any kind of soccer, you've got to have a goal of sorts. So let's go ahead and put down some goals here. You can put down one there, but maybe you're playing with, maybe there are 3 of you, and maybe it makes more sense to have as many as 3 goals instead of 2. And now, to keep track of who's winning, let's go ahead and pull up the scoreboard. And this toy we can use to keep track of who has done what. All right, so we've placed our scoreboard. Now, using the magic wand, we are going to connect each of these goals. So this goal, for example, we'll select it and we say, okay, goal scored. It's really the only thing you can do with a goal. We connect that to the scoreboard. We can say, we want this to be player 1's score, player 1's goal. If you score a goal here, this is going to be player 2's goal.
Could you change the properties then so that it was 3 open goals and a ball that would score to any individual regardless of which goal it went into?
We do have a team selection tool, and I don't know if we can. I think we theoretically could do that. I've never set it up that way before, but we probably could set it up so that it recognized a player as opposed to just an object going through the goal. So now we've set up all 3 of these, and we can now use a ball that's maybe a little bit larger than your standard soccer ball. Here we go. We can put that in the field. But now, if you like, oh, hang on, let me actually place that in the world as opposed to nearly place it in the world. There we go. Okay, there's the soccer ball. But as opposed to just run around and push the ball around, perhaps we make things just a little bit more interesting. Maybe we bring in, let's go ahead and bring in the Cinderella carriage, and let's bring in the elephant. Yeah. Okay. So, I, being a gentleman, will allow you to choose your vehicle first. Looks like that ball may have gotten away from us a little bit, so let me go ahead and bring in another one. So, by all means, choose your vehicle just by running up to it and pushing X. You can use either of these.
Syndrome in the carriage is going to look pretty amazing. So.
Yeah, Syndrome in the carriage is pretty amazing. Really quickly, though, I want to manly up my carriage just a little. So I'm going to use the green goo gun, which grows different objects. And, oops, whoops. Yeah, well, everybody likes to be a little bigger. If I can hit my carriage, oh, that doesn't appear to be working properly. Okay, well, never mind. Let us proceed. Okay, manly or no, I am ready to kick the ball into, and
it's roughhousing. Push me off the elephant.
There's one for me. I have no idea where the ball has gone. We maybe should have put a few walls around our play field before we started this. Nevertheless, I am not to be the lesser man.
Here's the ball.
So that may have been a little bit ill-conceived, and maybe we would have done well to have a few walls around our play field.
What is the design goal with this? Obviously, the product as a whole is very much. There will be people who will buy this as a single-player experience. They will buy it for putting the toys on the portal and playing through a single-player campaign. What do you hope to be able to achieve by giving players, not just children, the opportunity to actually create content that will interact with other items within the world? Well, is there a bigger philosophy at play?
Yeah, I mean, the very core idea behind Disney Infinity is this idea of recreating the experience of playing with toys. whether it be, what you remember as playing with them when you were really young. And so where you can take these toys, you can combine them in really any way that you can imagine. And so we ultimately wanted to provide the players with really simple to use tools, and a lot of them, that allow them to just build and create and play any way they wish. And it doesn't matter if that is building your own racetrack, if that's creating arenas where you can fight against a bunch of different enemies, or where you can play with your friends and determine who's the best at flying the jetpack through a bunch of loops, or whatever thing may occur to you. We just want to make those things as possible as we can. That's the ultimate philosophy behind Disney Infinity. What you do from there is whatever you wish.
Yeah, there is a little bit of a push at the moment to teach programming in schools to get more people learning to code. It's not part of a larger philosophy to enable that at the ground level.
I think that we definitely like the fact that we have created a way in the game to teach the basics of logic and inputs and outputs. I mean, fundamentally, we are allowing players to program behaviors of the toys, right? And we hope that is not just fun, but also educational. I think that is a goal of ours.
In terms of the sharing aspect, this has kind of the hallmarks of Little Big Planet and this content creation element, and a big part of the success of games like that have been sharing that content with other players. Will they be able to do that through Disney Infinity, and how will that work given that some of the elements seem to be tied to the physical toys and the discs themselves?
Sure. Well, sharing your content comes in a number of forms. First and foremost, this is a game that supports two-player split screen if you're playing on the same console, or you can have up to 4 players over a network. So you can build something, you can create something, and then you can invite your friends over the internet or over to your house to come and play with you and experience what you've done. Additionally, you have the option of creating your content, and you will be able to upload this to Disney and have it moderated properly and then published so that anybody can download and experience what you've done on their own console.
But you won't run into issues where certain elements are tied to physical toys that I might not have and can't complete a level, for example?
Well, some of our toys, as we covered, are connected to the power discs, right? Like Abu the elephant and the carriage that you saw, those require a power disc to be on the base for them to be in play. But if, for example, you have a toy that you've unlocked through play, and you've built things using that toy, I will be able to see that content, but I won't be able to unlock that toy for myself. I still have to do whatever you did to unlock it, but I can still see what you've built.
Great. Is there any incentivization at all for the people who do create content? Obviously, if it's going through a moderation system, you'll want the cream to rise to the top. Are you going to reward players who create the best Infinity content?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, we do have plans to run a number of contests where we will actually incentivize players to build a certain type of something, whether it be the best Disney castle or the best play field or something else. And then any number of players can submit those, and then the winners will be published, and they may receive other rewards as well. So we will build contests around this idea, yeah.
I was going to say, given you're giving some of the items away in the starter pack, they'll be able to build straight out of the box, and then there's additional pieces once they actually complete some of the story through the play sets. It seems like a great opportunity to give away elements and pieces to keep those premium creators making great stuff that they can share with the community.
Right. I mean, we definitely want to make sure we have as much content available as possible to the creators, and how exactly we're going to unlock that. We have a variety of means of doing that, and we expect to continue to bring more and more content as long as Infinity's around.
Great. And John, as you mentioned earlier, this is Series 1.
Right.
We're seeing some Incredibles, a couple of known franchises, but there are still a few that have been alluded to that we haven't seen yet. What are the plans for future drops? Is it a seasonal thing? Is it a 6-monthly, a yearly?
We like to think that Infinity is a pretty flexible platform, and we'll take advantage of any way that we can to distribute content. We do want to use Infinity to support major events at the Walt Disney Company, whether they be major feature films or events at the parks or something else. And so we are looking at really just about every angle for what content do we want to try to deliver next. I mean, everybody has their favorites, and so it's really kind of hard to decide what not to do as opposed to what to do with the limited time available.
Perfect. John, maybe give us the wrap on this one. When is the game going to be out, and which platforms?
The game is going to be out on August 20th, and it should be available for the PlayStation 3, the Xbox 360, the 3DS, the Wii U, the Wii, And the PC will also have a companion product.
Perfect. Thanks for joining us. And you can check out more on Disney Infinity on GameSpot.com.
Thank you very much.